Hello, students. A very good morning to one and all. I hope you all are safe and healthy at your home. In the last lecture, we have started the disinvestment policy, and in that disinvestment policy, we have started with the introduction of the public sector, what exactly the public sector it is, and what are the problems faced by the public sector to work on for the smooth functioning of a public sector. क्या क्या प्रॉब्लम्स थे पब्लिक सेक्टर्स में उसको फंक्शनिंग करने के लिए, और व्हाट आर द डिफरेंट वी कैन से बैरियर्स और व्हाई देयर इज अ losses in the public sector. So we have seen that part, and we have done with the introduction of disinvestment, that is in the your last content, last lecture, that this investment is nothing, right? In 1991, the new economic policy 1991, we have explained a word called privatization. In that privatization, we have to reduce the role of the government. So privatization is the only problem faced by the public sector. This is the only measure of the solution we can give to the public sector for the uh, to overcome with the losses, with the huge losses they have been uh, incurring from the last few years, right? So this is one of the say disinvestment privatization is one of the key areas for the improvement of in the public sector. Then we have seen disinvestment involves the sales of equity and bond capital invested by the government in public sector undertaking or public sector enterprises, right? So we have seen all the introduction of disinvestment, why we have done, why there is a problem in the public sector, we have seen everything. So now we are moving towards the objective of disinvestment, right? So this is the your introduction of disinvestment. We have done it in the last content, last lecture, that is privatization refers to the reduce the role of the government in the economic activity. In 1990, privatization as measure to curb the problem of the public sector. Disinvestment involved the sale of equity, bonds, capital investment invested by the government in the public sector enterprises. Then the fixation of the price of shares and bonds is very important in the disinvestment, because the price will be very important, because as per that price the people are going to purchase the shares. The shares are being listed and quoted and traded on the stock exchange, and there are Indian and the foreign financial institutions, banks, mutual fund companies, as well as an individual can buy disinvested shares and bonds disinvested by the government. So we are moving with the objective of disinvestment. What are the objectives, right? The main objective of disinvestment is to put national resources and assets to the optimal use and increase the productivity. Main objective क्या है? We have to use our resources properly. We have to use all the resources. We don't have to waste a single resources, so that after using that all natural resources, we are going to increase the productivity potential in the public sector enterprises, right? So this was just an introduction of the objective of disinvestment. So these are the points of objective of disinvestment. First is the raising resources. Due to the current revenue expenditure on the items like interest payment, wages, salaries of government employee, subsidies, the government is left hardly with any kind of surplus. The government are going to do expenditure on this, so after investing on this, the government has only few amount left with them for the capital expenditure on social and physical infrastructure. It means they have invested their money in they have invested their money, major part of money in the this area. So the main social and physical infrastructure development is less because of less availability of resource available to them. Next, now the government need to spend on education, on health, family welfare. Large number of resources are blocked in several non-strategic public sector enterprises, right? So the government, they have to spend on this, but due to due to the block in the several non-strategic public sector enterprises such as hotels, textile, chemical, pharmaceutical companies, कंज्यूमर गुड्स कंपनीज एक्सेट्रास, राइट? यहाँ पे इनके पैसे फंसे हुए हैं, दैट्स वाई दे आर अनएबल टू स्पेंड ऑन द एजुकेशन, हेल्थ, फैमिली वेलफेयर, right? So this is one of the, again we can say, major part is done over there, and which is the main focus on the economy. ये जो contents है which are more focused, more important in the economy, which has been selected as a second option. Next one, restructuring of public enterprises. It's an another part of revenue raised would be used for restructuring those enterprises, right? Again, we are going to restructuring those enterprises which are sick, which cannot be reviewed, right? So these enterprises will be given additional capital. इनको हम we will be giving them additional capitals provided by the management accounting system based on MOU. Your MOU is nothing but your MOU is I have explained this MOU. It is memorandum of undertaking. I will just clarify it, right? Uh, I will tell you what it is. As per my knowledge, it is marginal of, sorry, memorandum of your this one undertaking. That is MOU. I have actually seen what it is. I've learned that. Again, I will confirm with you all this part, right? So sorry for this. So that is, it is been placed in the accounting system of your MOU is place, right? So this is the second. We have to restructure the things. The company which are very sick, we have to change the policy. We have to change the things in that, right? So that they can give a even they can stop occurring losses again and again. So we have to provide them a restructure, we have to provide them certain rules and regulations, we have to provide them additional capital so that again that peers again that enterprises can be developed. Next one over here is rehabilitation of displaced personnel. A large part of money raised from the disinvestment will be used in the retraining and rehabilitation of workers displaced or affected as a result of disclosure or internal restructuring. We are going to train, we are going to again, the money which has been raised by disinvestment, we are going to use a part of money from there, and we are going to use for the retaining and rehabilitation of the workers, मतलब जिनको निकाल दिया गया था, again for the displacement of when they are when they are going to change an internal restructuring. Done. Next part. The the fourth point over here is the objective of disinvestment is raising productivity efficiency. This investment is expected to result in the great efficiency, in the great inflow of private capital and the use of private management practices in the public sector undertaking. Why there is a great influence of the private sector? Because in private sector there is a proper monitoring of each and every work. There is a proper efficiency in the private sector. In the private sector there is an accountability, there is a responsibility, right? So this we have to undertake in the public sector enterprises. This would bring, right, this would bring a proper monitoring of management by the public shareholder, and again this will improve the efficiency operationals. Again they are going to increase what, मॉनिटर अगर इम्प्रूव होगा तो एफिशिएंसी इम्प्रूव होगा, then the market value of public sector enterprises will also be increased. So in again, in turns, if the value, if the market value of public sector is going to public sector undertaking or enterprises is again going to be improved, again there are chances of earning a good income, right? So increase the operational efficiency, much revenue generated by the government. Next part over here is retiring public debt. A part of proceed from the privatization may be used for retiring public debts. We have to pay the public debts. जो पैसे हमने public से लिया है, we have to repay them. So a small part of the privatization we are going to use in the retiring of the public debt. Next one, benefit to the consumer. It is generally believed that as compared to the public sector, public enterprises, now private sectors are more focused on the customer satisfaction. What we expect from the public sector, that they are going to give a good quality of goods and services at the lower rate, but this main function is being performed by the private sector. Now private sector given more focus on the customer satisfaction, right? As their private sector survival depend upon the, because as the customer is going to satisfy with the goods and services by the private sector, they are going to earn maximum profit from it. The disinvestment would benefit customer through the better quality and a wider variety of goods and services available in the market. So this was the next objective of disinvestment. Next one over here is eliminate political interference. We have to just eliminate, we have to remove the political interference. हमें अपने चाहे public हो या private हो, right? In private, more or less there is no interference of the political stuff, but in the public sector it is more influence in the, more influence of the political interference. So we have to make sure that the interference of political parties should be lesser, or at a time it should be no interference of political parties in the public sector enterprises, right? Free from the political enterprises, that will increase the efficiency, right? That will increase your productivity, that will increase the quality of the goods and services. Again, if the quality is good, the quantity, the number of, or the quantity of goods and services will also be increased. Then it will reduce the underemployment and there will be more accountability towards the employee, right? There would be more responsibility, accountability, right? So again this will reduce your underemployment. It will be only when there is an very less or no interference of political parties in the public sector enterprises, actually in both public and private sector enterprises. Next one, modernization and technology upgradation. ठीक है? In this, Through disinvestment, the government decide to modernize the public sector. उन लोग ने क्या सोचा है कि थ्रू दिस दे आर गोइंग टू मॉडर्नाइज द पब्लिक सेक्टर थ्रू द अपडेटेड टेक्नोलॉजीज, right? With the help of the resources they are going to generate it, right? Again, these objectives वापस से this technology will give a positive effect on the public sector enterprises. This modernization will also give an importance to the public sector enterprises. So the overall objective of this investment would to improve the strategic performance of the public sector enterprises. So their position are strong in the market, and they are very strong with the internal resources. Are you clear with the important, sorry, objective of this investment? Any doubt? Let me know. Next, what is disinvestment policy? What is there in the disinvestment policy? We have seen the objective, right? What are the main objectives of the disinvestment policy? Now we are going to see what exactly the disinvestment policy is. So we are going to start with the little introduction. So in this introduction, there is nothing. It's a policy. Again, there will be some kind of rules, some kind of regulations, right? Some several steps they are going to take against some loopholes, right? So we are going to just specify everything what they have included in disinvestment policy and which they have not included in it. So I'm going to start with the first point, that is the new industrial policy 1991. The announcement of new industrial policy was in 1991, and it was considered as the starting point of the policy initiated taken by the government in the direction of disinvestment. यहाँ पे क्या था, इसको starting point बोला था. The government have again taken an initiative, right? The government again have some taken some initiatives so that there is an again improvement in the disinvestment. So in order to provide greater autonomy in the public enterprises and make them more accountable, right? Jitna autonomy denge so they are more accountable, the government introduced the concept of memorandum of understanding, that is MOU, which I was explaining you in the this part, right? Not here also. Here, this is MOU, memorandum of understanding, right? I was very clear, but little bit I was thinking that कि I was correct, but little not confused. दिमाग से थोड़ा सा निकल गया था, right? So we are back with the policies, right? So they have accountability with the memorandum of undertaking, that is MOU. Now, this MOU define the relationship between the government and the public enterprises, and they make such a relation more on the contractual and accountable. Matlab, if they are going to take a relationship between the government and the public expenditure, right? So that has to be contractual, matlab as per the legal, as per the laws, right? And there will be a person who is accountable for all the things which is responsible to it. So this is the first, what we can say, first point in the disinvestment policy measures. Next one is नवरत्न एंड मिनी रत्न. जो नवरत्न हैं आपके, in 1997-98 a greater autonomy was generated to the 9 public sector enterprises, and they are known as navratans. 1997-98 में बहुत ग्रेटर ऑटोनॉमी हो गई थी, मतलब दे कैन डू इट देयर सेल्फ. तो 9 हमारे पब्लिक सेक्टर एंटरप्राइजेस हो गए थे, तो इसके लिए हमने इसको नवरत्न बोला. नवरत्न मतलब 9. सो द नवरत्न वेयर IOC, IPCL, ONGC, BPCL, HPCL, NTPCL, SAIL, विस्नेल, भेल. These are nothing but your public sector enterprises. These are the government companies. The share of the government is more than 51% in all these companies. So it is governed by the government, central government or the state government, right? So what is this mini ratans? So we are coming here. This GAIL, GAIL and MTNL. You have heard about the MTNL, right? So they are also be in the same status. They are similar to this Navratans, right? So the greater functional operational autonomy has been granted to the 97 other public sector enterprises which are refers to as mini ratans. ये 9 के बाद उनको वापस से grant मिला, तो that was grant given to the 97 other public sector enterprises except that 9 one they are going to referred as a mini ratans, right? So we have to explain this to content in this point. Next is the Department of Investment and the Public Asset Management, that is DIPM. DPM. The Department of Disinvestment, so sorry, the Department of Disinvestment was set up in 1999. So this was set up in 1999. So from 2004, the department has been undertaken the Ministry of Finance. So this department was under the Minister of Finance. Next point, the Department of Disinvestment was renamed. The Department of Disinvestment was renamed as the Department of Investment and the Public Asset Management, that is DIPM, DIPM, from 14th April 2016. So the name has been changed from Department of Disinvestment to the DPM, Department of Investment and the Public Asset Management. Now there deals with the first point, all materials related to management of central government, investment in equity, include disinvestment of equity in the central public sector undertaking. All materials, all things which are related to the management of central government investment, to include that investment in the disinvestment of the equity of central, उनको इन्वेस्टमेंट से कैसे डिसइन्वेस्टमेंट में करना है, all that material should be related with the, so they are going to deal. So this department is going to deal with the disinvestment in the public sector undertaking. Next one over here is all matters related to the sale of central government equity through the offer of the scale of private placement or any other mode in the east while central public sector undertaking. Here, how they are going to sell, how they are going to do disinvestment, all the matters which are related to the sale of central government equity through any of the mode, through online or through any other modes which are available for the people to purchase the shares of central government equity or the public sector enterprises. So the all matters will be seen by the Department of Investment and Public Assets Management. Next, they are going to deal with the decisions on the recommendation of administrative ministers, NITI Ayog Limited, for disinvestment, including strategic disinvestment. Here, they are going to include disinvestment in the strategic disinvestment for the recommendation of administrative ministers, right? So this, so these decisions, these are we are going to deal in the uh, DIPM, DIPM. Next one, decisions in matter related to the public sector undertaking for the purpose of government investment in equity like capital restructuring, bonus, dividend, disinvestment of government equity and other related issues. So here they are going to discuss, they are going to take decisions in this matter related to the your capital restructuring, bonus, dividend or disinvestment of government equity and other related issues with that. Next one, this is the last one which they're going to deal in, is the it advises the government in matters of financial restructuring, sorry, reconstructing of central public sector enterprises and for attracting investment in the enterprises through the capital market. They are going to advise the government in the matter of financial reconstruction. Again, they need a money for the reconstruction part, right? So they are going to attract the investment in the enterprises through the capital market. So again, they are going to raise their income through the capital market. So this was the your third point of the disinvestment policy. The fourth point is the methods of disinvestment. What are the different methods through which more we can disinvest the equity shares, bonds, etc. Right? So the first one is the initial public offering, that is IPO. In this initial means the starting stage. So in this, the offer of shares for the first time to the public, हम लोग पहली बार शेयर दे रहे हैं पब्लिक को. So that is the first time, that is the initial public offering, which which is unlisted in the central public sector enterprises of the government shareholding or the combination of both. Combination of both means either the government or the CPSC. ठीक है, दोनों में से कोई भी. So these shares is the first time they are going to offer to the public, that is initial public offering. Next one over here is the further public offering, that is FPO. Offers of shares by the listed central public sector enterprises and the government out of the shareholding. Now these are the shares for the subscription part, for the public, for the subscription. They can do the subscription of they can purchase the shares which has been offered by the central governments to the people. So this was the two method. Third one was the offer for sale, OFS. So this offer of sale is done by the promoters. So, okay, it is done by the promoter. So, how they are going to do it? They are going to do this through the stock exchange mechanism, through the stock exchange, right? So, this method allow the auction of shares on the platform provided by the stock exchange. I'm so sorry, this is something auction, not the option. So sorry for this mistake. There was something spelling mistake. Really sorry for that. So auction means boli lagna, shares ki. So they have provided a platform, that is the stock exchange, right? And the offer for sale is extensively used by the government since 2012. Next one is the strategic sale. In this strategic sale, this involves the sale of the large portion of the government shareholding of the central public sector enterprises up to 50% or higher percent, with the competent authority may determine and transfer the management control. If the government is going to be taking 50% or 51% in this shares, so जिसने जितना ज़्यादा शेयर किया है, जिसने जितना ज़्यादा, अगर they have sell the 50% more, right? So the management will be controlled or transferred to that person who have taken more number of shares. So clear with this. See, ultimately when we are going to say over here, हम यहाँ पे जब बोलते हैं कि 50%, 50% means 50-50, right? So if there is a 51, it means your, now the other person have the share of 49. So now you will be in the majority, so the you have the large number of majority of shares. So you are going to control the management, you are going to control the business. So here this strategic sale is holding that the large portion of sales of the government shareholding, it may be up to 50% or some may higher amount. So we are going to transfer of the management control. Next is the CPSC. The CPSC, that is Central Public Sector Enterprises Exchange Traded Function, that is EFT. Disinvestment through this EFT, that is Exchange Traded Fund routes, allow stimulus sale of the government shareholding in various central public sector enterprises across the diverse section through the single offering use the platform of the stock exchange. Here again they are going to use the platform of stock exchange to sell the various shareholding, to sell the various shares of the government to the public through different sections. It can be anything, your exchange trade fund, initial public offering, further public offering, offer for sale, strategic sale, right? And this was your last one, that is the institutional placement program, that is IIP. It is only done by the financial institution. Only financial institution can be participate in this program, that is institutional placement program. No other person or no other third person are not allowed to enter in this program. Only financial institution can take participate, can enter in it. Rest all not allowed. So this was the different methods of disinvestment, that is the initial public offering, further public offering, offer for sale, strategic sale, institutional placement programs, and the last one is the central public sector exchange traded fund, that is ETF. Next is your fifth point, that is the interest of employee. It is one of the major concern with respect of privatization. ये आपका बहुत मेजर कंसर्न है when it comes to privatization. There is a change in the management from the government to the private sector which lead to the enrichment of the employees. अभी public से private हो गया, right? अभी public से private हो गया है, तो there why there will be a more number of employees? We are going to do enrichment of the employees. So the government has included certain provisions, right? The government has included certain provisions in the shareholders agreement of strategic sale to ensure the interest of employees. So they have included a strategic sale so that the interest of employees will be safer, will be protected. These provisions are that the employees cannot be retained at least for a period of 1 year after privatization. They are not allowed to retrench the employees after the privatization of 1 year. So now if there is a possibility of this, only possible under, so this enrichment, retrenchment, it is only possible under the VRC scheme, which is prior to the privatization. So these companies are going to use these schemes with the prior to the privatization. And the last one, the your disinvestment policy is the current disinvestment policy. What is current disinvestment policy? So we are going to see the features of the current disinvestment policy. First one, the public sector enterprises are the wealth of the nation, and to ensure this wealth rest of the hand of the people, and the government will promote public ownership of central public sector enterprises. Now here the public sector undertaking are the wealth of the nation. These public sectors enterprises are the wealth of the nation. They have to be ensure that the wealth rests in the hand of the people, right? So we have to maintain this public sector enterprise so that they can generate maximum profit from it, and the government can promote more public ownership of the central public sector enterprises, right? So they have to again improve the efficiency, they have to again improve the proficiency performance of the public sector enterprises, so that there are more promotion of public ownership rather than the private ownership. Next one, while pursuing this investment through the minority stake sale in listed central public sector enterprises, the government will retain majority stakeholders of at least 51% and retain management control by the central public sector. यहाँ पे simply बोला है that at least they have to take 51% shares so that they can control by the central public, that is the public sector enterprises. Now and this, if they're going to take the minority part, then they won't be able to control, right? But if there isn't, if they want to control, if they want to control the management, if they want to control the function of the companies, right? So they have to take at least 51% of majority stakeholders of that company. Next one, strategic sale of large portion of government shareholders to identify CPSU up to 50% or more, the transfer of management control will be taken. So this is the large current disinvestment where the strategic sale is going to be at the large portion by the government to identify that it is 50% or more than 50%, so then they can transfer the management control will be taken by the some other people who have taken majority of the shares, which is up to 50% or more than the 50%. So these was the we can say disinvestment policies. What is there in the disinvestment policy? We have seen that today, we have seen the objectives of disinvestment policy. Now we are moving ahead with the progress and the evaluation of the disinvestment policy. First, the progress was began in 1999 to 1992. The disinvestment began in 1991 to 1992, until 1999 to 2000 the sale in of minority of shares in the small lots. वहाँ पे स्मॉल लॉट्स में माइनॉरिटीज ऑफ शेयर्स थे, एंड एज यू सी फ्रॉम नेक्स्ट 2003 to 2004, right? This is your 4. 2003 to 4 disinvestment change favor of strategic sale. From the beginning year till 2003 or 4, there is an very much changes in the disinvestment policy as per the situation. So there are changes in the favor of strategic sale. So currently the government is pursuing both minority and the major stakeholders, right? In terms of IPO, that is initial public offering, FPO, financial public, sorry, further public offering, offer for sale, and through ETF, that is your nothing but exchange traded fund and IPP also. Now, this is a table which is showing the disinvestment targets and the achieved proceed in rupees crores. So here you see in the this one, this is there is an year in which year what is the target and how much they have achieved. So these amount are in the crores. In 2011-12 the target was 40,000, but they have achieved 13,894. In 2014-15 again the target was higher from the 11-12. In the year 11-12, 43,425 were the targeted, but they have achieved 24,349 crores. Again, there is a in 2017-18. Again there is an increase from the 2014-15, that is from 43,425 to 1 lakh, and here they have achieved a positive response with 1 lakh 56.91 crores. As in 2018-19, 80,000 was the target, but we have achieved again a surplus over here. So they have achieved 84,872.16 crores amount. So these were the disinvestment targets and the achieved proceed with the reference of 2019 year, and we have taken the sources from the Department of Investment and the Public Asset Management, Ministry of Finance, Government of India. So are you clear with this? So this is nothing but your what is the progress. So this was the progress, and now we are going to evaluate in the next lecture what are the drawbacks of your disinvestment policy, because for explaining disinvestment there are few concepts I have to explain. So I'm going to teach you that content, the limitation, the evaluation of the disinvestment, again limitations part, right? So we will be doing in the next lecture. I hope you are clear with the content. If you have any doubt, please let me know, and I will be providing you all notes, don't worry. So thank you so much. Stay safe, stay healthy. God bless you all.